Delicious sauerkraut. Make your own sauerkraut and enjoy making many meals the way you made it and suited to your taste. In this video, as we show you how to make sauerkraut, we're going to show you how to also alter the color and the flavor a little bit and what to do if it's too salty. Not everybody in the family likes sauerkraut the same. So some like it more salty, some less, some like it brown, some like it white, some like it in between. We're going to help you through this video to, after you make a couple batches, know what you need to do to adjust it. When you start off, you want to buy some firm cabbage heads. We went down and we bought 15 heads. They're roughly 3 to 4 pounds a piece. We're putting it in a 5-gallon crock. That's going to make us, we usually have 20 jars, but they're a mix of 2 liter, 1 liter, and I even like a half liter or a pint size or something just for one meal. So you can put it into 2-quart jars, you can do 1-gallon jars, it doesn't matter when it comes to processing it. You want to go down and you'll have to figure out, okay, if I've got a 5-gallon, you'll need somewhere around 45 pounds of raw cabbage to put in there. You're going to have waste. You peel the outside leaves off, the soft leaves, and you have to take the core out. Right here is where we cut the core out. There's always that hot, bitter stuff on the side. Well, cut it right out, and then you'll put it in the slicer. Take the wilted leaves off, any dirty leaves on the outside, and you're getting it ready. We always have a bin beside our cutting board or cutting tray so that we can throw in the leaves and things that we're not using off the sauerkraut just to keep things clean. This is our cutting board. I stopped in the middle of cutting to take these pictures. You'll see there's some cabbage there. Now we have a 3-blade board. These are serrated blades. You can use whatever you want. If you don't have one and you're patient, you can cut it with a big long knife and just make little shreds, 1/4 inch or less. You don't need one of these, but obviously these are faster and quicker. There's different size of these boards, these cabbage cutters. When I didn't have this, I inherited this from my mother. She passed away. I built my own. I just took a 2x6. I had some knives, long knives. I put them in there, put them on an angle, made my own cutter, and it was actually better than this one. And I built it myself. But anyway, you can buy these if you look around. They're for sale. You put your cabbage in here. This is the top view, and you slide over these knives. You can see how the edges are serrated. Some of these adjust for different width of your sauerkraut. That's once you get into it more, you'll know what you want to do with it. This is our 5-gallon crock. Now we've got it quite full, but we're going to be putting more in to this yet. I also have a bin on the side. This is for when I'm cutting. Sometimes it'll drop on the floor. I got a tin down here to catch it on the floor, and then just throw it in the bin. And on the board, sometimes you'll get some really wilted leaves or something that just doesn't, you don't want to keep. You just throw it in there in the trash bin and put it in your compost. This you'll need coarse salt, because salt is the key to getting your sauerkraut to start perking. I probably have an average sized man's hand, and I put in what I would call about a handful of salt per 1.5 heads. So every 1.5 heads of cabbage, after it's cut up, I add the salt. I put it in, I sprinkle it around, then you fluff it. So you dig your hands in, you're going to be looking about 2 or 3 inches of pressed down cabbage. I just put my hands in there, mix the salt around, keep fluffing it up and down, and then you press it. Now the proper thing to use is a pounder. It's a wooden post, kind of a square-headed mallet that you tap the cabbage down with. You don't want to beat it and squash it and make it, beat the thing to death. What you're doing is just pushing firmly. On the picture here you can see where I made a little trail pushing with my hand, and that's pushed it down 3 or 4 inches. Then I'll go around the edges and then I'll do it again. And what you're doing is you're helping the cabbage to be more firm, to set in there, be more solid in the crock. And you'll start to hear the water coming out of the cabbage. You'll start hearing a juicy, squishy sound. That's good. That's what you want. So after every time I add salt, I fluff it and then I press it down with my fist. You can use whatever you want, but you just want to do it firm. You don't want to really force it down hard, but press it in nice and firm, and you'll feel it start to, solidify. And so here I pressed it down, and now I'm going to start and cut up some more, because we can take it till, I don't know, I like to leave about 1.5 inches from the top. You'll get the water come to the top. That's okay. That's what you want. If the water starts to run over from all the water in the cabbage, just take a cup and dip some out and throw it away. But you want water to be right to the top. That's good. Sometimes if you get a little bit of foam, don't worry about it. Just scrape it off. I've had that happen once or twice. I put the cutter back on. I put my half a head in, and I'm starting to slice it. You can see it going down. This all goes very fast. From start to finish, from start to cleanup, was about 1 hour and 3/4, and it goes really quickly. There's not much to it at all. I keep turning the head here. Like you can see, I got it facing down. Sometimes I'll take and I'll turn it on its side, and just keep moving it around. You may want to finish off with a plastic block or a piece of wood or something to press the final stuff down. You don't want to get your fingers caught in the knives for many reasons. So after we're finished, you want to have it covered. We found some plastic plates that are the approximate size of the opening, and then you need some weight on it, some constant weight. I've used a jar of water, put the lid on, put it on its side, a couple of pounds of weight on there. And now, how long do you leave it? It depends on the weather, it depends where you're at, it depends on the year, it depends on the cabbage. To start off with, you wanted to buy tight leaf cabbage. Don't buy the loose leaf. If you're not sure what I mean, you'll know as soon as you see it. You want cabbage that is solid. You want it to feel firm. You don't want the loose leaf, you want the firm. And if you're not sure, ask the store clerks and they'll tell you, yes, this is good for cabbage or a sauerkraut or cabbage rolls or whatever. And you buy the amount you want as your crock. If you've got a 3-gallon crock, of course you'd make less. I've seen some people use pails, plastic pails, like 3-gallon pails to make sauerkraut in, or 5-gallon. I don't know. I haven't done it. I use a crock. So how long? I've had cabbage come to the point we want it in 5 days. 1 year it took 12. We did all the same steps, but it just varied. So I was pretty nervous because I'm going like, hey, this is way longer. When do I take it out? And you phone around and you don't know what to do. But after you've done this a few years, you'll soon realize that there's a certain type of sauerkraut that you will like. I personally like mine on the saltier side, and I like mine brown. I like brown cabbage. If you start leaving it where it gets really dark oak looking, that's a little bit too sour for my taste. Some would like that. Others like it taken out before it turns brown. They like it still on a white side. So you'll have to experiment a little bit. Then the amount of salt you put in can vary. If it's too salty and you've